Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me and you see me. I am Dr. Abhinav Atul, an author, a YouTuber, and the technical manager of TLB City. Now, I welcome you all to this very special panel discussion. Allow me to welcome each and every one of you who have joined us on YouTube or Instagram for today's high stakes discussion on TLB City, a platform for passions of all kinds, and soon to become a self-publishing house. tlbcitypublishing.com. The website is on. You can go and check it out. I am a self-published author myself, and I do interact with authors for interviews and guide new and aspiring authors with self-publishing. Before we dive into the topic of discussion for today, let me first welcome two guests. The first, a trained lawyer from National Law School, a sports enthusiast turned marketing professional, the co-founder of an electric vehicle startup, and the author of a national best-selling suspense espionage thriller named The Portrait of a Secret. Welcome, Tarun. I will bring you up to the stage, and in the meantime, I'll also play your video. Had other plans. No, he had other plans. His passion for sports led him to the world of sports marketing. The transformation did not stop there. He had stories to tell and no one could stop him. Like a master at his game, he took real events and weaved them into a suspenseful narrative revolving around stolen paintings, the partition, the accession of Kashmir, and the birth of Bangladesh. Published in 2023, The Portrait of a Secret launched Tarun into a space where he became unstoppable. So, when he's not busy running his EV startup, he is churning out convoluted and compelling stories. And as he says,
hopefully a lot more to come.
His next novel, Spectre of Vengeance, promises similar thrills as his debut, with more seamless blend of real-life news with imaginative fiction. From law to sports, from entrepreneurship to literature, TLB Prime author Tarun Mahrishi's passion knows no boundaries. TLB Prime. Be different, stay ahead. Welcome, Tarun. And next, we welcome an author whose work demonstrates a mastery of the digital landscape. Sai Vignana Sindhu, a best-selling Indian author of raw, emotional, romantic fiction. Her novels often dive into complex, high-stakes drama involving revenge, forced marriage, and redemption, resonating strongly with a massive online audience. See, she is a prolific writer with over 20 books published till date, and several of her novels, including the latest one named Twisted Heartstrings, they have achieved #1 Amazon bestseller rank. So, a warm welcome to Sai Vignana Sindhu. Welcome to the stage, and let us have a small introduction of you through the Prime video.
Others create movement with their words. Sai Vignana Sindhu is a 4-time gold medalist in public administration, economics, political science, and Telugu. Her academic brilliance shines just as brightly as her creative fire. With over 20 published works and a growing readership, Sai's books dive into the rawest parts of human emotions, from trauma to triumph, heartbreaks to healing. Her narratives don't shy away from life's hardest questions. They embrace them. Her characters are flawed, fearless, and unforgettable. Through every page, Sai offers one message: there's always hope. Now, as a TLB Prime author, Sai Vignana Sindhu joins the league of voices we proudly promote, spotlight, and stand behind. Because at TLB, Prime isn't just a label. It's our highest commitment to stories that deserve the world's attention. Join Prime, join TLB, the digital city today.
So, welcome, very warm welcome to both of you, and best wishes for the festive season. Thank you for being here for a real practical discussion, which is relevant not only to the readers but also to the other authors out there. Right? When we talk about books, for authors and readers alike, the phrase best-selling author is the gold standard of success, right? Right beside soon to be a movie, soon to be adapted into a Netflix series, right? Now, what does bestseller actually mean? Today's conversation is not about shaming individuals, or it is about debating the systems and the ethics that govern our digital publishing world. The ground rules are very simple. We will have one conversation at a time, and we will not tolerate personal attacks. Of course, you both are aware of each other. You have interacted a lot during our TLB City reality show. But in any case, it is just for a disclaimer. We will ground our debate in objective facts only. The goal is to find common ground, and well, if there are disagreements, let's hear it. With that, let me first ask Sai to please introduce her latest bestseller, Twisted Heartstrings, to all of us. Tell us about the genre, the volume, the basic plot, and the one most important reason why people are reading and loving this book. Sai.
Hello everyone. So my latest book, Twisted Heartstrings, is of romance genre, blended with action and adventure and slow burn romance. So the book has 516 pages, and the book is about the disadvantages of overusing artificial intelligence. Nowadays, we are using artificial intelligence a lot in our day-to-day life. But to what extent we can use artificial intelligence? Is it really safe, or does it curb our privacy? So this is what I have discussed in the book, blended with romance.
Wow, it is interesting to say the least that you have blended artificial intelligence, something which is very relevant and very practical in the current scenario, and made it into a romantic suspense. Is it a romantic suspense? What is the main genre? Romantic suspense.
Action and adventure.
Okay, action and adventure. And again, congratulations on this book being the bestseller, and of course, multiple other books of yours have become bestsellers. Congratulations. We will discuss more about the bestsellers now. Moving to Tarun, well, the same conversation. I mean, please introduce your baby, The Portrait of a Secret, and tell us the USP of this book.
Well, thank you. And before I do that, I want to say hats off to Sai. Publishing 20 books is no mean feat in itself. Just doing two has taken a lot out of me, so I can only imagine what doing 20 has taken out of Sai. Look, of Portrait of a Secret. Portrait of a Secret is espionage, spy thriller. India reads a lot of it, but most of it has been written by Western authors. This is my effort at writing something from an Indian perspective, an Indian lens. It's a story which merges Indian history with a lot of fiction. Uh, it's based in two paintings that were actually stolen from India. This is fact. These are two paintings painted by a very eminent Russian painter. From there, we have tied up a number of historical events: the partition of India, the accession of Kashmir, the creation of Bangladesh, the assassination of a former Indian Prime Minister, into a fast moving narrative, which I think is primarily what has driven a readership for this book. Um, Before leaving it at a place at the end where the lead character is faced with a complex moral choice about what it is that drives his motivations and his aspirations moving forward, and what really comes first, self preservation or national duty.
Lovely description of the book, and I have this book right here, and I have read this book and reviewed this book. We have had a lot of conversations about this book. We'll get back to the book again, and moving on to the conversation. Let us have all three of us in the center stage. So many of you might not know that the concept of bestseller being used to describe a book that was selling extremely well it originated in the 18th century, or might even be earlier. I mean, long before we had Amazon and Kindle and all the computer moderated data, the analysis that makes up for today's bestseller rankings. Later, the methodology and the measurements were formalized in the literary journal The Bookman in the late 19th century, and much later, in the 1930s, it was the New York Times that made the bestseller list, the best-selling author persona, a ubiquitous, institutionalized metric to define the success of a book and of its author. Pretty early on, however, by the same New York Times, they were engaged in a landmark court case where one of the authors who claimed that my book has been selling well and it should be in the bestseller list, New York Times established the fact that the bestseller list was in fact a subjective metric, an editorial product, so to speak, rather than a mathematically objective tally of sales. Now, all that history is just to say that it means from its very beginning, the bestseller list and bestseller rankings are generated by extremely well guarded, proprietary, and therefore opaque methodologies. Today, we know that Amazon's BSR or bestseller ranking, which is widely viewed as an accepted, straightforward system of weighing the sales of a book, right, on Amazon to gauge its readability, customer feedback, and hence the literary merit. But no one actually knows the exact formula or the weightage of sales and other metrics that Amazon applies, especially in terms of the sales duration, not the volume, the duration. It is very short term. I mean, the sales of the preceding week will count more to the bestseller ranking rather than your preceding sales of the last 6 months or so. So, having the bestseller tag, the sticker, the emblem, the coveted ranking is all shrouded into secrecy. So when you see this bestseller list on Amazon, something that goes like this, uh, well, you might not be very confident on what you are looking and what to expect from each of these books. So those of you who don't know, bestsellers are categorized. I mean, each category, we are only talking about books at the moment, but Amazon has bestseller list for every article on sale, on Amazon. So you don't really know what to expect from these books and which categories each book is categorized in. Amazon lets you categorize your book in 3 categories, and you get a ranking against each category. Now, we'll delve into a bit more detail of all the categorizations and everything. Here is a rapid question. Tarun, tell me the name of a famous best-selling author.
I'm going to take an Indian context and say Amish, given the latest
Mr.
book.
Patel. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the same question to Sai. Name a best-selling author, famous best-selling author.
Rabin Sharma.
Great. Tarun, back to you. Another best-selling author.
Again, I'm going to take an Indian context and say Chetan Bhagat.
Very good, very good. And his current book, 12 My Weird Love Story or something like that. I have actually that here, right here on my table. 12 years, that book is named. And it is running #1 bestseller on Amazon on several categories. Again, Sai, please, one more best-selling author. Sorry, I didn't hear
Arundhati
that.
Roy.
Arundhati Roy. Again, one more, Tarun.
Richard Osman.
Good. Sai.
Reena Singh. Dark Romance.
Who?
Reena Singh.
Okay. I'm sorry, I haven't heard of her. But anyway, the point is the bestseller status goes hand in hand with a certain degree of fame and a lot of respect, right? So let me ask here, Tarun, Did you set out from the start to make your book a bestseller, or it was a surprising achievement?
No, no, not at all. I'm an accidental author. I've said this before. I'm a author of COVID, and but for COVID, I would never have got the time to write a book. So I was actually quite thrilled to have the opportunity to have a book published. Um, and once the mind's a greedy place, right? So once the book was published, the goalpost shifted, and then of course you're looking for a little bit more. And I still continue to look for a little bit more with portrait, and to try and push it as far as I can. But it was certainly not a goal in mind when we first wrote the book. Uh, and again, I've said this before. It's always a we. It's not a single person's effort. It's a lot of people that work behind the scenes to make that book happen. But for me, for all of us, it was not the objective, far from it, to make that a national bestseller when we wrote the book first up.
Again, the same question to Sai. Did you start writing your book or publishing your publishing journey thinking that you have to make your book a bestseller, or it was an accidental success?
No, I had just planned the plot and the scenes, and I just written the book. I thought that I have to make the people aware of disadvantages of artificial intelligence. Because the thing is, actually, I have read some news regarding the artificial intelligence disadvantages. So I thought that I should write some books to make aware readers. So I have written the book. And frankly, this time for this book, I didn't expect a bestseller tag. I thought it may not be because the topic is very complicated. I have explained the whistleblower things and several things. So I thought, okay, let me take the risk. And I have written it
Right.
as per what I wanted to share. But luckily, it became the bestseller because of the readers' blessings and my author's help and everything.
So, on an accidental success, actually, there are no accidents. There is a lot of luck, of course, but there is a lot of hard work that goes into creating a bestseller, creating something that turns heads, actually, that makes people want to go to the Amazon page and click buy. Either that or read on Kindle Unlimited. Unfortunately, Tarun, your book is not available on Kindle Unlimited, as far as I know, right? Why was this
That's
decision
right.
taken?
I'm not actually sure. I don't think it's been that conscious a decision to not make it available on Kindle Limited. It's on Kindle and we've left it there.
So now we have talked about categorization. What happens is when your book comes out on Amazon Kindle, I mean, there is a whole lot of difference on what a bestseller is outside of Amazon. Like, of course, there is a Times of India bestseller list. There is a Hindustan Times bestseller list. There are a few uh, very prominent booksellers like Crossword and Bahari Sons, and they also publish their own bestseller lists. But we will be focusing more on the Amazon bestseller list because that is where where people have the most visibility. You go to buy a book mostly on Amazon. Of course, bookstores are there, Crossword is there, book fairs are there, but Amazon is still the place where the most books are sold, and there you can become a bestseller without actually selling a lot of books. Is that right? What do you think about this statement? Tarun first.
See that a lot of books is a iffy statement. I don't know what that really means, right? It depends on what category you're selling your books in. It depends when you're selling those books, who you're competing against. So all of those factors come into play. I actually think within the context of that algorithm, it's a good metric. Within your category, it's telling a story about how readers are receiving your book and whether they're buying enough copies of that book for the Amazon algorithm to judge your book to be a bestseller or not, which is some sort of signal in the market. Whether it's whether it's a signal that can be manipulated, whether it's enough of a signal is a different discussion. But it's certainly a signal of some merit of some sales velocity within your category.
Right. Sai, the same question. What do you think? What do you say to the statement that on Amazon today you can become a bestseller, you can get the number one bestseller rank even without selling that many books?
I actually agree to this statement because the thing is the competition depends on the competition in the category. If the category, if the book is categorized into the category which has less competition, it is very easy to become the bestseller. But sometimes if the category has the high competition, so it will be very difficult. Even though we have many sales, we cannot become the bestseller. So I agree with the statement.
Okay, we have a statement. I mean, we have a comment on Instagram, which actually I'm too far away from the screen to read. Let me just squint. So there is Sunanda Haldar, 2010. Hi, I am a teenager trying to write my debut novel, and you inspire me a lot. Thank you, Sunanda. So I'm assuming she's talking about Sai, of course, not me or Tarun. But now let's get to the heart of the matter. Sai said so very astutely, very conveniently that the problem is the not the problem actually. The point is you have to make your categorization intentional. Uh, Categories where there is a near zero competition, you can get a bestseller rank very quickly. Like something like okay, Chetan Bhagat's book 12 Years is currently, as of today, number one bestseller in the category suspense. Now, it the book is marketed as romantic suspense. Okay, that is okay. Chetan Bhagat is a romance author. That is okay, but only suspense. So when you go to the Amazon bestseller list and select the genre suspense, you think of maybe Tarun's book. But why is Chetan Bhagat's book there? And that is where that how do you defend how do you defend leveraging a system's vulnerability in this categorization for this badge? What do you think? So my question right here to you first, Tarun, what does bestseller, the tag, the name, the noun, what does bestseller mean to you personally? I'm not talking about the sales, I'm not talking about the money, I'm not talking about the fame. What it means to you?
I think it actually does end up meaning all of those three things you were just discounting, right? When I say Amish in this country, everybody knows who I'm talking about. Or when I say Chetan Bhagat, everybody knows who I'm talking about. That's genuinely a best-selling author. The name requires no introduction. But if I was to walk around and say I wrote a book, I still need to explain what portrait is or who I am. So that's not quite reaching those exalted levels yet. Yes, you could have a tag, you could buy a tag, you could manipulate a tag, but these guys have genuinely achieved that status and that tag.
Same question to Sai. What do you think about this the conundrum, the categorization conundrum, so to speak?
Uh, what bestseller to me is it's a motivation to write more, and the second thing is, as I already told you, I have took a very complicated topic for my recent release. So when that book became the bestseller, I thought that okay, I can take the risk. I can write many topics which are related to real life and also which make readers aware about what's happening around us. So the bestseller tag, according to me, is a motivation to write more and more books, explore many social topics, and make the readers aware of all this. That's what bestseller is to me.
Lovely. So it's a motivation to write more, and to Tarun, it's more like the validation, the social validation that every your name would need no introduction if you were a best-selling author. So of course, you it's just a start for you. You have just published your first book, and the second one is coming soon. When is it coming? Actually,
It's available
let
on
us know when.
Amazon now for it's available now for pre-order, but it releases formally officially on the 31st of this month. That's
Oh, okay.
celebrating Astha's birthday, my wife's birthday.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. So, viewers, wherever you are watching from, this is your chance. Of course, after this video, go to Amazon and click on the link on Spectres of Vengeance and pre-order your copy of Tarun's second novel. Hopefully, that will very soon reach the bestseller mark. Now, well, Tarun, I'll continue with you. Given your legal background, at what point does optimization of these categories cross the line into something which might be called marketing deception?
It depends, right? It depends on what you want out of life. So you can, like anything else in life, right? You can tell yourself all the lies you want, but if you really stand in front of a mirror and ask yourself the question whether your book is doing everything you wanted it to do, then these categorizations stop mattering. Ultimately, you want to be in the top 100 books on Amazon. That's when your books really killed it. Or at least be in the top 200 or top 300 books on Amazon. That's when you know your books really got velocity. People are really buying your book. So you can be top 10 in some unknown category on Amazon, but that means very little in real life. It doesn't necessarily mean that people are reading or enjoying your book. I think a much better metric really is reviews and what's happening there. How many genuine reviews are coming up? What sort of velocity you're getting on your reviews? Um, and when customers are upset, you really see it on the reviews, right? You don't see it so much when they're happy, but you genuinely see it when they're upset. They didn't like your work, they hated paying that 299, 220, whatever it was. That comes out very rapidly on the reviews.
You are absolutely right. A person who has liked the book is not as likely to leave a review than a person who has not liked the book. And this is true for everything. Like you go to a shop and purchase whatever. You purchase a sari for your wife, and if the sari is good enough and wife is happy, then you don't go back to the shopkeeper. But if there is any flaw in that sari, you go back to the shopkeeper and tell him how bad the sari was and how flabbergasted that left you as you wanted to gift your wife. But anyway, that anecdote, that
Look,
metaphor aside.
I'm going to say one more thing on this side. I've been a big fan of Chetan Bhagat. He's been criticized for his writing style, for it being too simple, etc. But everybody's read those books. Everybody can speak about Five Point Someone and Two States and a bunch of other books. I really enjoyed reading those books because they are page turners. You don't want to put them down. But despite being a big fan of Chetan Bhagat as an author, the current book's already rated 3.9 on Amazon, and that really worries me. It's the reason I haven't purchased the copy yet from Amazon because I wonder how why audiences are reacting the way they are to bring it down to a 3.9 so early in its life cycle, right? And that's a hard place to recover from. The early knocks on a book's ratings are really hard to recover from.
And you have pointed out a very significant matter in this whole discussion of bestsellers. See, what people actually think when we were growing up, we thought that a bestseller uh, book is like a book or an author which has sold, which has proven its merit. Right? We don't expect a book to become a bestseller on day one, but that is what we see now. Right now, a book is just out. How many people might have already read it? Maybe 50 or 100 beta readers or ARC readers, 1000 all over the globe. But how can you defend a book becoming a bestseller on day one, and later, as you just mentioned the example of 12 years, the ratings go down? Now the bestseller tag is there. Once it happens, once it is achieved, that tag is used for the future printings of the same book, right? Once you get that, regardless of what the ratings are in the future, you get the right of putting that tag over your book cover, right? And that brings me to another example that I came across while researching for this. uh, Abroad, especially in US, this is taken very, very seriously. I mean, Kindle Direct Publishing is a lot bigger in the US than it is in India, because in India, Kindle Direct Publishing was just an afterthought, because Amazon was doing it all over the globe. So they thought, okay, chalo India mein bhi kar lete hain. But they don't take India as their primary, source of income for Kindle Direct Publishing, so to speak. That is why they haven't even considered. I mean, they have considered. I mean, they haven't even given any kind of timeline when they will be bringing the paperback publishing through Kindle Direct Publishing in India, even though there are people who want to publish. So what happens abroad, especially in the US, Kindle and Amazon actually screens the books which are being published, and if there are any mentions of the word bestseller or any context that an author uses in their manuscript while publishing on Kindle, they will flag it and call back to ask you for a proof. I mean, what do you think is the proof that makes you eligible to claim that your book has been a bestseller or your book has won a prize? It has happened, and it has led to a few books being taken down by Amazon. Unfortunately, that kind of scrutiny and that kind of policing is not happening in India. Is not likely to happen in India very anytime soon. But see, this is what it is. And Sai, coming back to you, your books, all of your books are mostly digital only, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. All of your books are available on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited, but paperbacks, I don't think there are any paperbacks, right? So that was uh, a conscious decision on your part to be digital friendly and digital only author, and that has led to a considerable success to you. Now, what do you think you would be if you were to ditch KDP and go to a another publishing house, say Notion Press or Bigfoot or anything? What would happen?
I'm actually planning for paperback. So soon my books are also will be into paperback. KEMP, what to your question, my answer is that actually Kindle is available to most of the readers, college students, and everybody. So I think that being successful on Amazon is really very easy for the self-publishing authors. Because to go for paperback or to other websites is really difficult. Because if it is debate and if an author is very new to this publishing world, he has to think a lot how to publish, how to market and everything. So it will slow the process, and sometimes the author also may get fed up, so she may not publish the book. But because of Kindle and Amazon Kindle, it encourages the authors to publish more and more books in digital form. That's what I say.
That's right. We have a few more comments. So again, I had to squint. Sorry. Book. The name is Bookworm Hookworm. Okay, that is the um, uh, Instagram account. Hello, authors. My question is: most of the bestsellers are generating material using AI, not just the cover, story too. As we read, we know it is AI, and is it the reason more and more people are getting their debuts? This question should go first to Sai.
I didn't understand the last sentence. Is it
So
the
the
reason?
question is, yeah, is this the reason more and more people are debuting? I mean, more and more people are coming to bring their books to KDP using AI.
My answer is that we can actually, coming to myself, I use AI to edit the book cover of my book. Not for generating the content, but for this book cover, I use AI. So according to the question, if I have to answer, what I say is maybe it is right to some extent. It makes people easy to publish the book, but what I feel is consistency is important because becoming bestseller one time is okay. Okay. They can become, maybe they can use AI or something and they can become, and yeah, okay, they can deceive the readers, they can deceive the Kindle algorithm and everything. But what about next? Because once a reader reads this book and they feel that it is AI generated, they may not read the next book. They may get discouraged to read the book written by that author, so they may not read. So what I feel is it's not good. Yeah, to some extent, maybe authors are more encouraged to write this way, but ultimately the success will come only when you are consistent and when it's your own thoughts you are published. This is what I feel.
And this is very true. Forget about AI. AI has come up in the conversations in the recent year, maybe last 2 or 3 years. But even before, say a person spends years of their formative life, like in college and school, and they bring up a story and they publish their debut novel, and it becomes a phenomenon. But that is just a one-time thing, right? It's a one book wonder. Whether the person has a merit, has the has the balls to go ahead and publish another book, then another book, then another book, and make sure that it is a good enough book to become a bestseller. Forget about the bestseller. Let's say the person has to have the balls to be consistent. That goes without saying. I mean, it's very easy to publish one book, but to again, give it your all again and again, and bring out books, that is very difficult. But with AI, it has become very easy, right? People can make books. I mean, just like you make book covers, people can make entire books within 5 minutes. And today, as of today, Kindle Direct Publishing doesn't scrutinize this. Maybe in the future they will scrutinize, and they will take down the books which are AI generated or which appear to be AI generated. Tarun, what is your take on this point? People are using AI to write books, and that is probably a reason why more and more people are self-publishing today.
I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that. It's not such a clear line. It depends on what extent you're using AI to, right? So if you're giving it a prompt saying, write me a revenge love story and copy pasting into a Word document and producing that as your content, that's a problem. But if you are ideating, if you're using AI as your sounding board, as an editor, as a proofreader, as a development editor, come copy editor, come proofreader, I think that actually might help make your work better. It's not a particularly bad idea to use that to ease the entire process, to shorten the time frame within which you could produce good content. And actually, it's not that difficult anymore to obfuscate that line and make it impossible for a reader to know what is AI and what is your own thinking. So it's your own intellectual honesty that remains as to what you want to produce as content that's marketed under your name and what's actually written by AI. I've seen in my own work the difference between ChatGPT 4 and 4.45 is enormous. Its ability to write now is phenomenal, and its ability to write as per different author styles is scary. So you could prompt it to write like a Baldaki, you could prompt it to write like an Arundhati Roy, and it will do it seamlessly with the same content. What it can't do yet is take leaps of imagination, which I think still is an ability that remains in the human mind. So to be able to craft plots which are not linear, which require obfuscation, which require thinking beyond ethical boundaries, which at least the AI systems pretend to be restricted by. Those are still skills we exceed them significantly in. So it's a nice combination. It's like having a cell phone, right? It enhances your skills. It doesn't replace you. That's sort of where I think we are with AI and writing. Where
Absolutely.
also I
AI.
think we are where I also think we are going to head to is that it's a matter of time before AI does replace us in writing. It'll leave very few authors behind, and those guys will have to be exceptional to be able to think something that AI is incapable of doing. That's the only thing that will remain. All the normal stuff that's written will get replaced by AI quite easily.
Yeah, in that scenario, in that world, in that dystopian world, I think those authors who actually have the mettle to do something that you know explosive, they might be considered the exception. I mean, not in the good way. They might be just the minority. I mean, it is. We are going through. We are going to have a very difficult time ahead of us with this AI. But well, that is a discussion for another time. We have another question. We have another comment. Vanshika. Vanshika says, "It is okay to write a book, but it is more difficult to promote." Of course, it is a it is like a say it is like a saying like sun rises in the east. Yes, it is very difficult. Is it easier to write a book, AI or no AI, money or no money, but it is very difficult to promote and market your book. There is another question for Tarun sir. Tarun sir's book are not on KU. This is Divine Earth Divinity, a comment on YouTube. Tarun sir's books are not on KU. Why? What are the reasons for this particular choice? Please guide. Of course, we had this discussion, so no need to take unless you have anything else to say about that.
No, it's simply that Tarun's an old illiterate man who doesn't understand the space particularly well. So he is going to educate himself and figure out what's the best way forward, discuss it with Penguin and try and figure a more effective route.
No, well, as far as I think, any established, the big six houses, they don't recognize Kindle Unlimited as a place to be, because Kindle Unlimited gives you a very limited money. It is good, it is great for reach, but it is not great for money, right? That is why I don't think most of the authors, including Chetan Bhagat, his books are available on Kindle to purchase, but it is not available. They are not available on Kindle Unlimited because it runs on a subscription model. Because people, even if 10,000 people read on Kindle Unlimited, the amount of royalty that goes back to the author, and the amount of profit that goes back to the publisher is minuscule. That is why most even self-publishing authors, self-publishing houses have this clause in their, many of them, not all, many of them have this clause in their publishing agreement that you can't publish on Kindle, you can't put your book up on Kindle Unlimited until a certain period of time. I have known authors to have this dilemma: why my book is not coming on Kindle Unlimited. Readers want to read it without having to purchase the entire book. Just download their, I mean, borrow from Kindle Unlimited. But it is what it is. It is going to be like this forever. Now, moving on, the main question. First to Tarun, then to Sai. What have you done, and what do you think you would have done more to make your book a bestseller? Go.
I've worked very hard on promoting this book. I've done whatever I could think of doing to try and promote the book. So, be it sort of hygiene stuff like Amazon ads, asking friends and family to buy, promote, review the book, to visiting schools and colleges, trying to procure media coverage, doing whatever I could, right, to try and promote that book. I don't think there was much more I could have done, frankly. Maybe I could have spent a little bit more money, a little bit more time, but that's a bottomless pit. Books will absorb as much money as you want to put into it to try and promote it. Um, it's a good question, right? And it's a question I need to answer soon now for the second book as well, as to what else needs to be done to try and make it a better marketing model. I don't know. I don't have the answer today, unfortunately, but I am working on it. So if we have this conversation in another 3 months, hopefully I'll have a better answer to give this audience.
Okay, well, we will get back to you on that. Don't go anywhere. So, Sai, before I put this same question to you, let me show everyone your wall of fame. So here is his Ruthless Revenge, a bestseller. Then we have The Broken Bride, a bestseller in so many categories. The Second Love, again a bestseller. Then we have uh, okay, Second Love and Broken Bride, Enemies to Lovers Romance. Then Caged, Innocent Bride. Then your latest one. Okay, the latest one is coming. Contemporary drama and plays, and the latest one, Twisted Heartstrings. So this is kind of a wall of fame for Sai. So many of her books have become bestsellers, and Twisted Heartstrings, the one she has been discussing today, is the latest one of them, being being about AI and somehow making romance into integrated into the AI. So now it is time for Sai to answer this question. What have you done to make your book, the current book only, a bestseller, and what else do you think you would be ready to do?
Yeah, I will answer this question, but I want to answer the previous question. That is, we have talked about. Can I answer? Is it
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, sure. Yes, yes.
We have talked about the usage of artificial intelligence into writing the content or editing and all. So I want to say that AI assisted is different from AI generated. This is what readers, authors, and many have to get aware of. Because AI generated is something where we generate entire content through AI. But AI assisted is, as Tarun said, it is about proofreading or editing, and we actually write what we wanted to write, and we just use the AI for assistance only for editing, grammatical errors, etc. So this is the difference of AI assisted and AI generated. And when we upload the book into KDP, we also have to mark there it is AI generated or AI assisted. AI assisted is no need to mark, but if it is AI generated, we have to tell. So most of the readers
Okay,
are like it is AI generated. Even if you use it for proofreading, editing, or whatever, they will say that it is AI generated. So this is what I
okay,
feel the readers also have to think it is AI generated or assisted. When we are writing the entire book through our thought process, the plotting, the scenes, dialogue, and everything, and we are just taking the help of AI to edit the grammatical errors. See, we all know that writing a book, editing, proofreading is really a difficult task. It's not easy. It takes many months for it. So to make the process easy, we can also somewhere we can take the help of AI. But AI generated stories is wrong. This is what I feel. So I just wanted to discuss. So
no,
what I
very
did,
very nicely put.
There was a nice analogy to this. Every profession has a tool. So an architect will have those CAD drawings. Scientist will have his scientific calculator. An author has Claude and ChatGPT. So it is equally fair for us to rely on some of these AI tools as it is for other professions to rely on theirs. Now, the problem I think only is that CAD drawing can't itself generate a building design today, but it's a matter of time before they're able to pump in specifications into some program which gives them an entire design in 30 seconds. So it's a question of inevitability as well. You might as well get used to the idea.
Right, we might as well get used to. And I am completely with you when you are talking about AI assistants. Like it's no different than a human editor, only that AI is free. Now tell me, when you are uploading your manuscript or even parts of your manuscript to AI, it becomes AI's property, right? What I mean is, it is used by that AI to teach itself. So your story, even though it is being published today with just an assistance from AI, it now becomes a part and parcel of the AI's brain, so to speak. What do you think about that? And later, maybe 5 years from now, when someone else uh, tries to upload their manuscript for AI assisted, grammatical correction and everything, they take inspiration from your writing and put it in that person's book? What is, where do we go from here? I mean, it's not an easy question, I know, but since you are here, you have to answer.
No.
Look, it's going to happen, right? AI will train itself on every word that's put into it by human interlocutors. It's inevitable again. Law will catch up. My understanding of this is that copyright is created when you author those words. So hopefully the copyright will continue to vest in the person who first wrote those words. There will be some complexity around how you prove it, when it was done, whatever that complexity will be. And law will lag, but eventually catch up to figure out what's going to happen. Yes, there will be pain. Some people will suffer in the meanwhile. The people with more money, more ability to fight will win the initial battles, but hopefully there'll be some equality and equality in the near future. And that's the larger problem really is that this is what will start weeding out authors because everything I upload onto, say, ChatGPT, uh, makes it that much harder for me to compete with myself in the future. My second book or my third book then has to be better than my earlier books in order for somebody else to be forced to write better because they already have access to what I've done in the past. So maybe it forces you to get better and better at what you do, or sort of slip into irrelevance and find something else that you could try and make a living out of.
Good point, and very dark indeed. So, Sai, please continue this conversation. I mean, what do you think? You upload your manuscript, your draft, not manuscript, your draft into Chat GPT or whatever, in hopes of getting some assistance like proofreading, grammatical corrections, and everything. And now that draft, your work, your heart's work, has become the property of Chat GPT or whatever platform you're using. Right? What does it make? How does it make you feel?
My frank opinion is that when we release a content into digital world, there is no safety for that. Even if you don't upload into chat GPT also, I think you already know that Kindle books are copied and also uploaded into some websites, scam websites. So if somebody really want to copy the idea of a book, they can dialogue they can, but what about the style of an author? The writing style cannot be copied. ChatGPT cannot copy the writing style mostly, and because as Tarun sir mentioned, we will get improved from book to book. So the improvement cannot be copied. The style cannot be copied. So it's okay if ChatGPT want to copy the content which we uploaded to edit because even the KDP books are copied, even the paperback books are also copied. When somebody reads the book, they can just print some idea from that book and they can release another.
No,
So
that
they
is
cannot
I
different. That is
copy.
disagree,
different.
Sai.
That is
I
different.
think actually the future is darker than that. I think ChatGPT, Claude, etc. are really good at copying styles as well. They're exceptionally good at it now, and it's actually very easy for them to do because it's not so hard to break down author styles into some parameters and then just be able to ape that when they're predicting what text should come next. You should try it with whichever authors you follow. Try and convert your own books into that kind of text. I see it happen when I'm writing, just for fun. Convert this into an Amish, into a Chetan Bhagat. They do a damn good job of it. Yeah.
No, as you said,
Okay.
Sai, uh, whenever I read a book, I mean, uh, mm, when 5.1 came up in, I know, 20 years or so ago, I was very impressed and I was very inspired. And that was the point, that was the book that prompted me to start writing in English. Before that, I was so, I will forgive my mental state. I thought that I would be writing all, I will always be writing in Hindi. I am a I, my Hindi is more or less good, was more or less good at the time. But Chetan Bhagat's writing style and his work gave me the inspiration to become to write in English. And that's not something, that's not a copying. Surely, 100%. Even if you might say that the ease of language may be copied from Chetan Bhagat, or there may be hundreds of authors, Indian authors, Indian English romance authors, whose writing might be similar to Chetan Bhagat, but that is not what we are dealing with right here. Right here in AI, whatever you give, it becomes their brain. They can categorize it. This is Sai's style of writing. This is Tarun's style of writing, right? So anyway, we have to come back to our main question. What have you
This is
done
what
to?
I have
Yeah,
mentioned
tell
in
me.
my recent book actually. In Twisted Housing, this is what I wrote there. The danger of AI. See, even I have seen few people uploading their pictures and asking which dress suits me, which jewelry I have to wear, everything. Okay, you are uploading a photo, but what about if it will save it into their memory? And what if they are used into some wrong way? So what you
You
are
are right.
talking is
It is creating a lot of
it is
buzz. Even police and administration is going up in social media and asking people, asking especially women, not to upload their photos in Chat GPT and whatever to create Ghibli style or whatever. These trends are okay to look at. These are short lived, but their images that have been uploaded in Chat GPT are there, and they can be used anyway. And the same goes for AI also. I mean, for literary AI also. So, Sai, if you are done with the AI, let us circle back to the main question. What have you done to make your current book a bestseller, and what do you think would you do more?
what I did to make my book a bestseller is that I have written the blurb. I have focused more on writing the blurb well, the blurb, the book cover, and also the first three chapters well. Because when you can hook a reader to the first three chapters, obviously they will read the book to the end. So when a book is read until the end, KDP usually gives more points, so thus it can become a bestseller. So that is what I did. I have focused more on writing the blurb attractively and also the first three chapters. I worked more on that. That's what I usually do for every my book. What I have done more is that I think I should have done more marketing. I didn't focus much on marketing this time because I'm really busy with many things. So I didn't focus on marketing. This is what I feel.
Now, this is very pertinent. See, you can give your heart into your book and make it as good and as presentable as possible. But unless you are assured in some way that people would know about your book and they would take the time to read your blurb, then comes the part that they will probably read your whole story, and then they will probably like or don't dislike your book. That is a completely different tangent. First, you have to reach this point, which says that people will find your book. People will take the time to read your blurb. So here is what people actually forget, that getting a bestseller stamp is certainly a sure shot way of making sure that people actually see your book, because it is highlighted, right? It is highlighted. So bestseller tag, which used to be the measure of the metric of how a book is performing, it is today a marketing tool, right? It is not like you have sales and then you become a bestseller and then you had more sales. What happens today is you publish, you become a bestseller, and that drives your sales for the into the future. What do you say to that, Tarun?
Yeah, and you see it with a lot of books, right? They are number one bestsellers on day one. So you have obviously ensured that I suspect both with the publisher and online, you have just ensured there are enough pre-orders prior to publication to get those tags. So it's a victory of marketing, and it works. It cuts out authors that don't have those kind of budgets, but it's working for those that do.
So where does it lead? Where does it lead us? Now let's shift our focus to the reader, because we write For ourselves, yes, we have a passion to write, right? But we write for the reader. And when a reader, when a consumer buys a book based on the bestseller badge, only to find that book is of low quality or deeply niche, what is the cost of that broken trust to the publishing and writing industry as a whole? Sai?
You want me to answer from the point of view of reader, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So if a book, if I feel that I was deceived by by the title or something, and the book is not appropriate to the title or the category, maybe next time if I see the same book of same author, I may just feel that maybe it's not, it's better to skip the book because maybe it's not the content may not be the uh, appropriate to the title or something. So I will skip it. As a reader, mostly it's like readers are also love to read the book. As a reader, I love to read books for entertainment or for knowledge. So if the book cannot offer what is promised, so definitely I will not go to another book of that author. I will skip it. As a reader, that's what I do.
Tarun, as a reader, which was the last book that you have read?
The last one that was recommended to me, which I thoroughly enjoyed, was a book by Kigo Higashino, The Devotion of Suspect X, which was transformed into Janeja, a movie on Netflix featuring Kareena Kapoor. The movie was good, but that book is absolutely exceptional. Actually, that's sort of leading me to what I wanted to say, right? Which was, it's all right. We are in an economy in a world where this trust is not so important. It's about the latest fad, the latest thing that's new, the latest thing that's hot. So it's just the way it works. Uh, a book that's great will find its way into the zeitgeist somehow. It will find a way into readers' minds, into readers' word of mouth, uh, like what I'm saying about the devotion of suspect text. I think it's happened with some books in India as well. I think Akshat Gupta is a good example. That book didn't come out as a number one bestseller. It took a while to pick up steam, but it sold a lot of copies subsequently. And I think just talking well of how that story was told and what that story was. So that's the space we compete in. We can't compete with the marketing budgets that's running into crores. So we will compete on merit and hope that our books find a way to appeal to audiences and recommendations into their friends and family, and we build up steam like that.
Fingers crossed, and very optimistic approach that you have taken. Here, I will pause and squint again to read a few comments. Muhammad Saad Irshad. Okay, writers are writing books using AI and printing their name on it. This is happening now. In future, oh, okay, this is happening now. In future, we can't imagine what will happen. This is, I think, the same thing that we discussed a few minutes earlier from Instagram. So this person has written a different comment on YouTube. I think idea is the only thing which a writer has to think now. Uh, Muhammad Saad Irshad, I would say that idea is just one single, it can be just one single line, and that is not what it takes to create a book. Maybe you are talking about a 200-page book. We are talking about intricately interconnected characters, their motivations, their drivers. One simple idea can generate a book, but one simple idea, one single line of code cannot generate a full book which you will like. Of course, AI can generate the whole thing, but it will not be what you want. It will not be what you get joy in. Let's go back to the root of why we read or why we write. It is to find joy. Yes, AI is probably on a way, on a short way to that location, to that destination where its content, its generation will be indistinguishable from what Tarun writes or what Sai writes. But today is not that day. So if you think you like a particular book, you can rest assured it is not written by AI as of today. That's something I can declare right now. A few more. Okay. I think we have done through the comments. There is one more comment. Let me see. Hmm. Okay. So, next question. Moving on. Sai, when your first book, we are talking about your first book which became a bestseller. When it became a bestseller, what changed in you? I mean, again, discounting the book sales, the royalties, and the fame. What changed in you?
What changed in me personally is that I became more responsible, I should say, in my case, because I felt that if a book becomes a bestseller, it means that more or less it is liked by readers. We can, I mean, simply we can say that. So I felt that I should be more responsible. And my first book is about some illegal drug experiments. So I also got a confidence that I can explore the social issues more because readers are interested into this. I no need to go on with only romance or something. I can also include such topics, the complicated and this what happens in the society. I can write that also, and yeah, readers are going to like it and they will read it. That's what I felt, and I also felt more and more responsible to bring the best stories and also the plot lines. I think a lot about the plot lines. Like, uh, if I write a book, what's the impact I'm going to make in the minds of readers? Am I creating any awareness, or am I just writing a story? See, few write for entertainment, few write for messages, and I am like I want to blend both. So when I start a book, I actually plan the chapters, which chapters give entertainment and which chapters are going to aware the people about what's happening around us, and they have to know the dark side of the society. So this is what I blend. So it made me more responsible and also a bit confident that I can explore the society.
This is a unique thing. I mean, I did not know that your romances are sometimes somehow linked to the real and practical darkness of the society. But yes, this point is something that might make me and other readers go deep into your bibliography. Uh, Before we move this question to Tarun, I would like to ask you. Uh, See, is there anything that you would like to change in the current scenario where we see bestsellers as a tool to sell more books rather than a metric of a book's literary merit?
Should I really talk about this topic? Because it's
This
really
is
very
Yes,
your.
controversial. It's really very controversial, and I'm sure that even my author friends will be like, "Do you get like this?" So it will happen. Okay, let me say that I just want, yeah, you have to market the book, but please be honest because everybody, every author is working hard, and we have to focus on the reader's mindset also. So please don't play with the sales and the bestseller tag. Be honest. If you work hard and if you do the marketing in a honest way, also your book will become the bestseller. And one more thing is, if your book is not a bestseller, please don't tag it as a bestseller. That's what I want to say. I'm so sorry to say this. If anybody hurts, I'm really sorry for this.
No, you actually pointed out to a very, very serious matter. And yes, see, your book becoming a bestseller is a thing to be proud of. Of course, whatever we discussed so far. But if your book has become a bestseller, it is something to be proud of and something to flaunt. But if your book has not reached that level, don't claim that your book has. Like, see, bestseller is a subjective metric. Your own publisher can have a bestseller list. Maybe they publish 100 books, 100 titles in a year, and then they can come up and say that yes, your book is the bestseller out of the 100. But that is not what bestseller should mean. Of course, if you go by the definition of a noun, yes, it is a bestseller, but that is not what bestseller badge means to a reader, right? So, Sai, which was the last book that you have read as a
I
reader,
have read.
not for research?
Can I also say about ebook?
Yeah, yeah. Any book, any book.
Recently, I have read Holding On to Us by JSP. That was the book
And
I
why
have.
did you and why did you select that book?
Because I selected that book because I have, frankly, I have seen the reviews and the rating, and also I have read that the book is about the communication gap between the couple. Even the couple loves each other, they don't communicate, and that's why they wanted to take the divorce. So I felt that communication gap is really a big problem, and communication is very important in any relationship to avoid the conflict and also to be more close. So I felt that it is interesting, so I have read that.
Mm. So basically, the content of the book and the reviews that they spoke to you. But my question is even deeper. How did you find that book? I mean, yes, you clicked on the books link, then you saw the reviews, then you saw the blurb and everything. How did you
The
reach that book?
It's in the top list of the category Indian writing, so I have just went through that.
Okay, great, great, great. Okay. Then now we have been talking for something like 1 hour and 11 minutes, and we will soon close this session. But before that, I have a few interesting things to talk about. First, both of you know me through TLB City, and here is the question. This is my book, right? What would make you think about buying this? Be as honest as possible. I'm not talking about this topic as the author of this book, but as the facilitator of this panel discussion. This is a book from an author who is not a bestseller. There is no best-selling tag here. There is no recognition. If this was brought in front of you, what would you think, and what would make you consider buying this book? First, Sai.
I would see the book cover and then I will read the blurb. I wanted to know what is the content about. And if the content is good and to my interest, definitely I will read the book.
Okay, you won't take into account that you are currently reading another book or something like that.
Sorry?
You won't take into account the fact that you might be reading something else. Your to TBR pile will be so high.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear. Just give me a minute.
Okay. While I bring this question back to Sai, Tarun, your turn.
No, I'm not really sure which perspective you wanted to answer that question from. Are we talking specifically about the broken boyfriend? What I would like to see differently about it?
No, this book is in front of you. You are standing in a
A
bookshelf,
bookstore.
sorry, a
Hmm.
bookstore, and you see this. You don't know the author. There is no bestseller tag here, the badge here. Then what would you think about this book? What is the one thing that might make you consider this book?
Look, so you're putting me in a difficult position because you're asking me to look at a book only from the front half of it. I would love to read the blurb, which is sort of 90% of my decision, right? The cover would only encourage me to look at the blurb, and that's where I would make my decision. That cover is not the most inspiring cover I've seen in my life. The broken boyfriend, I'd like to see something more about the guy. It looks like a very standard image for the time being. One guy, one girl looking away from each other, maybe something else. I don't know what, but it depends on what the rest of the story looks like. Look, I'm currently bidding for this book, so I'll have better ideas once I've read it.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. But okay, that is the point that I wanted to make here. That writing a book is always the easier part of the process. I'm not saying writing a book is easy. I'm saying compared to what comes after, it is the easier part. How you make your book presentable, how you make your book stand out in the crowd. Remember, there are 10 million books being published in India, right? Every year, and around 80% of those are self-published. So, and majority of them are only published in KDP, only digital versions. So, what is your take on how an aspiring author can become a bestseller like you, Tarun? This is the final question. I'm telling you.
I don't think there's science to this. I think that's not fair. That's not entirely accurate. I don't think it's all scientific. I think what you said earlier is a large part of the truth. It's a lot of luck. I think a lot of factors come into play. Um, what's a good example? So let's see with 12 years, right? Despite all of the marketing effort that's being made behind that book, it is 3.9 on Amazon. So if you didn't know who Chetan Bhagat was, you were unlikely to purchase that book on Amazon if this was his debut book. And now with a 3.9 rating, he will lose some readers because it's a 3.9 rating. Uh, why did 5 point someone work? Was it an exceptionally good cover? Probably not. Was it an exceptionally good blur? Perhaps not. Was it an extensively marketed book? I don't think so. It was just a book in the right place at the right time. It worked. It really. I read that book because somebody recommended it to me, and I think that's really what a book reads. That's really when a book does exceptionally well, when somebody else tells you this is something you have to read. Like somebody is recommending the new R.F. Kuang book to me, saying you must read Kitab Sis, right? So that's a reason for me to read that book because somebody whose judgment I trust is recommending that book to me. That's how I came across Kigo Higashino. Uh, I think if you can crack that code, if you can get word of mouth going for a book, you are destined to be successful with that particular book. All of this marketing cycle will eventually die down. So you can push it up to a point. Yes, you can spend crores and make it enough of a success to rank high on Amazon on all these lists. But whether it's a genuine success in the minds of your readers, I don't think you can ever crack that code without writing a good book and then appealing to the hearts of an audience.
Well said, well said. And your perspective is, as always, grounded and something to aspire for. Sai, are you there? She's probably uh, trying to reconnect. Let me. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
wait.
can you hear
Right on
me?
time. Yes, we can hear you, but very
I'm
faintly.
so sorry. There is some problem in this headphones, and I cannot hear what you are talking. I'm so sorry for this.
Can you hear us now?
I've tried
Hello.
to resolve the issue, but I don't know why it's connected, but I cannot hear anything.
Oh, okay, okay. Hmm. ठीक है. It's okay. Then we will skip the closing remarks for Sai, and this has been a wonderful session. Thank you both of you for this truly illuminating discussion. And the takeaway seems to be that as digital publishing evolves, we are talking about Amazon only at this moment. There is and there always will be a lot of difference between what a traditionally published book and their bestseller ranking and their marketing and their perception, and something which is only published on Amazon. And it is by design that we have our panelists, one of whom has been traditionally published, and one has been self-published only on digital media. And of course, paperbacks are coming. So we must demand new ethical standards as well to address the integrity of the claims of being a bestseller in a niche category, in a category that doesn't make any sense, in a category that might not even be remotely related to the book that you are to the book that you are writing or reading. But this is something that is going to stay. As Tarun mentioned, this is the world that we live in. It is not going to change anytime soon. Bestseller tag, for better or worse, it has some value. And so what we can say is, at the same time, take the bestseller badge with a grain of salt. So with that, we come to the end of our discussion. Opening the stage up once again for Tarun for your final comments about this whole conversation, about this whole discussion about bestsellers.
With the caveat that I am all of one book old, I'm just going to repeat that. As long as you write a good book that people recommend to others, that's the best marketing strategy in play. Other than that, thank you as always for having me, and a very happy Diwali to everybody.
Thank you, Tarun. Sai, are you able to understand what I'm saying? I mean, listen to what I'm saying, hear what I'm saying? No.
Doesn't
Okay.
look like it.
Okay. So silence is golden here. So we assume that Sai has given a very compelling closing statement and wishing us happy Diwali. And everybody who has joined us on two YouTube channels and two Instagram accounts, all the best. Keep reading, keep your trust and your faith alive in the literary world. We are going through some difficult times, but we read to enjoy ourselves, and that is not going to change. AI or not, bestseller or not, Amazon or traditional, that one thing will not change. If you like a book, talk about it, tell your friends about it. That is the best you can do to support an author you love. Buy a book, okay. Like a book, okay. Leave a review, okay. But more than that, talk to your friends about that book. Tell your friends that this is something which is worth their time. And this is the word of mouth that will actually surpass the bestseller tag, because bestseller tag is not about volumes anymore. I mean, it might have been earlier. It is about velocity. And that is why your book can become a bestseller on day one because of the pre-orders, because the sales velocity in the only day or two that the book has been live on Amazon, that velocity can be manipulated. But what comes with word of mouth is something that is far more organic, far more genuine, and far more sustaining. So that is all for this discussion. Thank you, everybody who has commented on YouTube as well as on Instagram. We will be back in another episode of these panel discussions or an author interview or anything related to TLB City. And if you are not a part of TLB City, well, what are you waiting for? TLB City, joining TLB City is free and it is always going to be. Join TLB City and meet authors, talk with readers, bookstagrammers, and have a great time. Thank you. Have a good evening. Have a good Sunday. Have a happy Diwali. Good evening. Good night.